We are today in a minor key. You may have noticed already a few slight changes. Things are simplified from this day onwards. The Gloria Patri in the old rite is no longer heard, and the psalm in the beginning is no longer said, and other things too are simplified, reminding us that we are close to Calvary. There is a heaviness in the air as we accompany the Lord in agony. And that is what I would invite you to do over this next Holy Fortnight. In union with all the ages that have gone before us, we cannot feel the fire of Easter unless we go calmly, step by step, through the pain. The pain. You can't quite see this, but you can imagine it. I picked it up where it happened. It's there where they put the Lord on the night before he suffered. It is perfectly preserved. Indeed, so too is the other cave, slightly less awfully uncomfortable, with, in Greek, the names of those who are in it: Barabbas and company. One gets then to the underground dungeon where the Lord, as a special case, had the rare privilege of being put. This Eastern icon, for it is in the hands of the Greeks, captures something of it insofar as it is accurate if you look at the foot and leg area. The captive was given such privileged treatment as they were able to think of in those days. If one were to dare, and one wouldn't out of respect, to sit there where they put the Lord, one would find that one's two legs would go into these carefully prepared holes. He couldn't budge. In the side, you see the place where there was room for the two chains, so that he was actually physically unable to move at all night. We have, in the intuitions given to Blessed Anne Catherine Emmerich, what came to him as he intuited the first rays of dawn, somewhere outside. Oh, blessed morn, for which the centuries had awaited. All the just were there in the dungeons of the underworld, for even Adam could not enter into glory while those bronze gates were still sealed. Only he could open those doors, and only he could do it after what was to come in the 24 hours to follow. It would all be opened at one word: it is accomplished. And what happened? Nature sighed. The sun hid its face. There was an earthquake. Things happened. Souls of the just came out and appeared to people. And notice, the veil of the temple was torn in two. And how? From top to bottom. And the experts say it is indicating that it went against the grain, unnaturally. The door was open. And in the intuitions of Anne Catherine Emmerich, we see what happened in the temple also. It was, remember, a high day, and the high priest was trying to do his thing, and all was going wrong. There was something off-key, as though God had abandoned what he was doing. The old expression in Hebrew is ichavav. Now, chavav is glory, and to glory is to express the power of God, and in the absence of it, it had gloried. It means the glory had gone. It's an expression we found in the Old Testament and is applied now when this happens to the whole order of the old. The pedagogy was over. The fullness of time had come. In the missal that we're using, it's a classical, beautiful missal on the altar, and this happens to be portrayed at the beginning of the Mass itself. Christ in agony. And it shows also the whole of nature agonizing with him, even the moon. Children sometimes put faces in sun and moon. Well, the artist has done something of the same. The moon is sad. It kept him company in that garden, while those who represented us, the three privileged ones, fell asleep. Could you not watch with me 1 hour? My friends, those words come across the centuries. They were picked up by Saint Margaret Mary Alacoque. And the Lord, in repeating them to her, asked that we somehow also joined in to that reparation which consoled him, because she saw that when he was at the end of his tether in his humanity, something happened. The angel came and showed him this. Outside time, all the holy hours of reparation somehow consoled him at that point. He saw us. He was allowed to jump across the centuries, plugging into his knowledge in the divine at that point. And so he wants these hours of consolation. We happen to be in one of the parts of Ireland where we have access 24/7 to that, just down the road. Navan, it's gone on for a long time without a break for those who do it day and night. It doesn't stop, and we know that when that happens in an area, great blessings fall on that area, and also graces of intimacy come to the souls that do it. And the most unexpected people do it, believe you me. I know lots of travelling young men who go in there, sometimes in the night. We mustn't judge or place in categories. A soul is a soul, and the Lord is warmed by one soul that comes to remember him, while the world plays football, which brings me to my next point. This is a day when in the honour of God, God is greatly offended. I think you know what I mean. Much is done on the 17th of March in this Holy Isle. Well, it came to me while before the Blessed Sacrament this morning that because we couldn't have the First Friday devotions this month, and indeed the same happen next month, I've got to go home to sort out the house on that particular week, we might, after our St. Patrick's Mass here, which will be as on a Sunday at 1 o'clock in this church, this feast of St. Patrick, have what we would have had on the First Friday, a moment of adoration and benediction, so as to claim Christ, claim Ireland for Christ once again. While all these parades go around Ireland with all kinds of weird and wonderful things on them, why do we not carry the Lord of Hosts, the King of Ireland, for one small moment, just around the church, just around the outside, and come back the other door? Why be shy of our God? There was a time when in Ireland, people were not shy of Jesus Christ. There was a time, and it's not that long ago, when people actually would uphold the rights of Christ. Even the media would not tolerate what now it is encouraging and working quietly against the kingdom that once it used to defend. I conclude, my friends, this is not just any week. Many graces are in the air. Let us find time to keep company to the one that we're sometimes offending by colluding with the other guy, just by being ordinary, just by switching on the television, just by laughing at a dirty joke, just by allowing people calmly to blaspheme and use the holy name. We're all part of the problem when we just are too shy to uphold the rights of Jesus Christ, Sovereign King.